Daylen, just talk a little bit about this matchup with Auburn as far as the secondary and what you guys are going to be up against with Auburn's wide receivers.
They got 2 or 3 really good receivers, so we just gotta lock in and practice. I'm really excited for the matchup. So.
Kirby was just in here talking about the quarterback's ability to run and extend plays. How do you go about defending that as a defense?
Really just trying to do a better job to try to contain him, keep him in the pocket. Feel like that'll kind of counter it in a way. So we just got to stay locked in and do a good job of countering the fact that he can run, because he's a good quarterback that can throw and run. So.
Yeah, Daylen, early in your career, you're playing opposite of Kamari. Teams kind of attack you. Now you're the other guy that teams seem to kind of stay away from. When you mentally go on the other side of this, how do you stay locked in, ready to make plays if and when you actually do get attacked, if that makes sense?
Really just, like you said, just staying locked in. There's someone on the sideline, they always tell me, like, before every possession going, he just says, don't fall asleep. So, like, when I'm on the field, that's all I'm thinking about, just don't fall asleep, because, the one play you do fall asleep, that's the one they could throw you away, and then boom. So.
Yeah, you're someone who's played and started on the road at Auburn. Just what do you remember about that environment in 2023, and how did it sort of impact that game?
It's a pretty crazy environment. I think that was 2 years ago. I'm old. But yeah, it was a good experience just seeing them. Like their fans get loud, so just it's probably gonna be the same this week. It might be a little more. Just saying it's a night game, so we just gotta be ready for that.
Jalen, what do you remember about Kim Coleman, Eric Singleton, kind of what they bring in terms of the challenge of trying to slow those guys down?
Oh yeah, they're 2 really good receivers. Cam, he has the size. He's one of those guys you could just really throw it up to him. Like he's like the 50-50 type of guy. So we just got to do a good job of making plays on the ball when that opportunity comes. And then Singleton, we played him last year. He was at Georgia Tech. He's also a really good receiver, real shifty. You can really put him anywhere. So we just got to stay locked in and
Yeah, you guys had an advantage over Kentucky over your left.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's been the first time since the Texas game last year that you guys have led against a Power 4 team at halftime. How much of a difference does it make when you're in the secondary and you've got that other team on their heels and you know they got to come to you? Does that make things a little bit easier in the secondary to maybe seize the moment?
It feels good going into halftime with a lead, but we go into halftime saying it's 0-0, so we just make sure we stay locked in for the second half and don't really let the lead let us get comfortable. So we just try to stay locked in.
Yeah, Kirby's talked a lot about the secondary, getting hands on guys, through the routes and everything. How do you feel like y'all are doing in that regard, and what's the balance between disrupting routes but also not getting called for holding, pass interference, things like that?
I think we've been doing a pretty good job. That's one thing we try to focus on, especially when we're in those man-type defenses, is actually getting down, putting our hands on and challenging people. And there was some circumstances where like we didn't really do that, but then we would go make the adjustment and actually like really tell like, bro, like if we're impressed, we gotta actually put hands on them, we gotta knock the timing off. And then once we started doing that, I feel like it showed we started doing a better job. So.
Daylen, to your left, when it comes to the quick start, Kirby said there was nothing injected into the guy's veins. We didn't take a pill for it. It was just execution. So when you see what you guys did better against Kentucky, from your view, what was it?
I would say last week in practice, we talked about doubling down on things. So I feel like the 2 things we tried to double down on was getting takeaways and then also getting off the field on 3rd downs, because we just felt like that's something we didn't really do good against Alabama. So that was the 2 main things we tried to focus on during that week. Like we worked on each like more than usual. So I feel like that showed. So.
We saw Ellis make that toe tap interception on Saturday. How common is a play like that from him, and just what kind of growth have you seen from him this year?
It was great to see. I always like seeing, Ellis, even all the corners, when they make plays, it's just a great feeling. And seeing them, those are the type of plays he makes in practice. So I'm just proud of how he's been growing and how he's been maturing throughout his career. So.
Yeah, Kirby talked about the sort of positive energy that linebacker Justin Williams brings to this team. How do you see that when practicing with him, and how has he improved over the course of this season?
I say it always stays the same. Like, I feel like it don't matter what time. We could be playing at 3 a.m. He's probably still gonna have the same type of juice he does if we play at noon. So that's something I feel like it definitely helps our defense because, you know, a fire, passion, energy aspect thing. And, you know, like that gets other people going. So the fact that he does that, you know, we really appreciate it. So.
Going back to Ellis, what have y'all's conversations been like? Have you offered any advice to him?
Really just telling him to stay locked in. Don't really let one play affect the other. Because, you know, he had a little adversity when we played Tennessee, and that's kind of the first thing I told him. I was like, look, like stuff like that's going to happen. You just can't let it drag the whole game. So, like, you just really just try to forget that it happened in the moment. And then, like, when it comes the next day or whenever we're watching film on it, just see where you messed up to where you can get better at it. But that time will come. You can't do that in the game. You got to stay locked in. You just got to have that next play mentality.
DeMello is a guy we've seen a lot more of over the past couple games. Just what has his growth been like, and what does he bring to that cornerback spot with his athleticism?
Just seeing the way he's been practicing the past couple of weeks, he's been working his butt off, and you know, he got the opportunity to get on the field, and he handled it pretty well. Like I'm just proud of how he handled all that stuff, just because, you know, he was like a little stressed, you know, like he wasn't really playing or whatever, but you know, we kind of talked about it. It was just like, bro, stay locked in, bro. You just keep working, like your time will come, and it came, and he took advantage of it. So I'm just proud of him for that.
Yeah, I know that players and coaches on the left here say that you guys prepare for every game the same, but you've had some of your best moments in big time games. Is there an explanation of that? Do you find an edge, or is it rising to the occasion? How would you explain the way you performed in big moments for Georgia?
I mean, we do try to prepare for each team the same way. Like, I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, I guess, that the bigger games were the ones, you know, I played better in. Just like, feel like, you know, just trying to stay locked in more, in who we play, and yeah.
The fact that this is the second road game for you guys, how big do you feel like for the younger guys the Tennessee experience was, especially as one of the older guys? Lessons you feel like that you hope that they take from that Tennessee game when y'all hit the road on Saturday?
I think one thing is just try not to make it bigger than what it is. And, you know, us getting that opportunity to play on the road at Tennessee a couple weeks ago, I felt like it was a good thing just so we kind of know what we're getting into going into another one. So.
Daylen, right up here, talking a minute ago about, you know, don't fall asleep when they don't throw to you a lot of times. For your own growth, I mean, as you continue to progress, how valuable then is practice reps for you compared to what happens in a game when it could be hit or miss on who throws your way?
Well, you know, I try to take the practice reps pretty serious. Just, you know, you practice how you play, so I just try to make sure I practice the best I can so I can, when I'm on the field, I can play the best I can.
Have any more questions for Daylen? All right, Daylen, thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Daylen.
Daylen.